I am the creator of all forms of human misery, the instigator of discouragement and disappointment.
And you do not call that cold and cruel?
I call that definite and dependable.
Welcome back to Oshun Ajay exclusive, River Queen Conjure, and No Narc Network TV. I am the Oracle, Oshun Ajay. We are on lesson 14, you guys, of Dissecting the Devil. We have taken about a 2-week hiatus. I was getting some things updated on my other channels. So if you're interested, go check out Badass Tarot 2, BadassWitch exclusive, and No Narc Network TV. We are going into lesson 14, where we're going into some of these secrets involving love relationships and how they can help overcome the devil, as well as some of the other uses of hypnotic rhythm. Okay, so if you need a refresher, go check out lesson 13 and then come back to lesson 14 after the live stream. Okay, until then, let's get it.
The world depression broke up the habits of men everywhere and redistributed the sources of opportunity in all walks of life on an unprecedented scale. The drifter's pet alibi, with which he tries to explain away his undesirable position, is his cry that the world has run dry of opportunities. Non-drifters do not wait for opportunity to be placed in their way. They create opportunity to fit their desires and demands of life.
Are non-drifters smart enough to avoid the influence of hypnotic rhythm?
No one is smart enough to dodge the influence of hypnotic rhythm. One could just as easily avoid the influence of the law of gravity. The law of hypnotic rhythm fixes permanently the dominating thoughts of men, whether they be drifters or non-drifters. There is no reason why a non-drifter would want to avoid the influence of hypnotic rhythm, because that law is favorable to him. It helps him convert his dominating aims, plans, and purposes into their physical replicas. It fixes his habits of thought and makes them permanent. Only the drifter would wish to dodge the influence of hypnotic rhythm.
So hypnotic rhythm is not a trap, you guys. It is a law that you can use to your benefit if, in fact, you learn the power of your mind, that you discipline your mind, and you use it to create the things that you want rather than the things that you have been taught to fear.
For the better portion of my adult life, I have been a drifter. How did I manage to escape being swept into the whirlpool of hypnotic rhythm?
You haven't escaped. The major portion of your dominating thoughts and desires since you reached adulthood has been a well-defined, definite desire to understand all the potentialities of the mind. You may have drifted on thoughts of lesser importance, but you did not drift in connection with this desire. Because you did not drift, you are now recording a document which gives you exactly what your dominating thoughts demanded of life.
So basically what he's saying is that Napoleon Hill didn't escape the law of rhythm. Instead, he used it to manifest the things he wanted most out of life. Hence the information contained in this book that we are reading right now.
Why doesn't your opposition use hypnotic rhythm to make permanent one's higher thoughts and nobler deeds? Why does your opposition permit you to use this stupendous force as a means of entangling people in a web of evil, spun by their own thoughts and deeds? Why does your opposition not outwit you by binding people with thoughts which build and lift them above your influence?
The law of hypnotic rhythm is available to all who will use it. I make use of it more effectively than does my opposition, because I offer people more attractive bribes to think my sort of thoughts and indulge in my sort of deeds.
In other words, you control people by making negative thinking and destructive deeds pleasing to them. Is that correct?
That is the idea exactly.
Which explains why so many celebrities are being used to promote this agenda. Because when you're laughing, having fun, watching a movie, dancing, or listening to music, it's easy to bypass the conscious mind and get directly into the subconscious, where those seeds of negativity can be planted and grow out later as negative thoughts and behaviors.
I've often wondered why your opposition, what we earthbound call God, does not annihilate you. Can you tell me why?
Because the power is as much mine as his. It is as available to me as to him. That is what I have been trying to get over to you. The highest power in the universe can be used for constructive purposes, through what you call God, or it can be used for negative purposes through what you call the devil.
And you can definitely see this spiritual dynamic taking place in the spiritual community, and especially among witches, okay? Because you have your white witches, your dark witches, your in-between eclectic witches. You have your cultural witches. And so, the witches of all, shapes, sizes, colors, and purposes, okay? And all different crafts and practices. And this is because, we're working along that whole spectrum of, being completely positive and being, a light worker type of witch, and then being, completely working with dark energy, and somewhere in between, which is kind of where I fit. You know what I'm saying? I am kind of in between. I'm an eclectic witch. So I will work with dark energy as well as with light energy, and some witches don't have the ability to move completely up and down the spectrum like that. Some witches completely do what they do, and that's what works for them. But the point that he's making is that you can use either one, and they are both aspects of the same energy. So, like the yin and yang, or flip sides of the same coin. Okay?
And something more important still, it can be used by any human being just as effectively as by God or the devil.
You make a far-reaching claim. Can you prove your claim?
Yes, but it would be better if you proved it for yourself. The devil's word is not worth much among your earthbound sinners. Neither is God's word. You fear the devil and refuse to trust your God. Therefore, you have but one source available through which you may appropriate the benefits of universal power, and that is by trusting and using your own power of thought. This is the direct road to the universal storehouse of infinite intelligence. There is no other road available to any human being.
So the power of your own thought is the direct road to the storehouse of infinite intelligence.
Why have we earthbound not found the road to infinite intelligence sooner?
Because I have intercepted you and led you off the path by planting in your minds thoughts which destroy your power to use your minds constructively. I have made it attractive to you to use the power of infinite intelligence to attain negative ends. I have made it attractive to you to use the power of infinite intelligence to attain negative ends. I have made it attractive to you to use the power of infinite intelligence to attain negative ends.
So he has made it attractive to you to use the power of infinite intelligence to attain negative ends. So this reminds me of the part of my dream where my boss was calling each person into the office one by one, and they would come out possessed because he was so-called giving them a briefing about something regarding the company. But I could hear in between the words about the company these Latin words that he was slipping in, and this was how they got possessed. So when we got to the girl's house that I left with, she had two little brothers who had been playing with comic books that they understood what the words meant. I never told you guys what the words meant because at the time I knew it wouldn't make sense to you. It made sense to me. You know how it's your dream, so you kind of have an understanding. But I knew that if I told you guys, it wouldn't make sense to you. And so now I can tell you because now, he in this book is helping to make sense of what was being said in the book. Okay, so the words meant see me to be me. So now I can kind of break down a little bit better what it meant as far as like see me to be me. Basically, certain people will be placed before you for you to look at their lives, you know what I'm saying, and to want it, to envy it. So they'll put people before you and show you all of the things that they've been able to obtain by following the devil's plan. And they want you to envy that. They want you to want it. You know what I'm saying? And they want you to be willing to do anything to get it. Okay. So once you are mesmerized, once you are hypnotized and mesmerized by your desire for material wealth and power, then you are ready and willing to accept a slice of the devil's pie, and then begins your grooming to become one of the quote unquote co-workers. Okay. And what the co-workers are charged with doing is enticing you to lie, cheat, and steal to obtain those things that they have tempted you with. This temptation is the purpose for the content in the media, the movies, the music, as well as the music videos. Once you have tasted the devil's pie, you are then willing to obtain those things
through greed, avarice, lust, envy, and hatred. Remember, your mind attracts that which your mind dwells upon. Your mind attracts that which your mind dwells upon. Your mind attracts that which your mind dwells upon.
Your mind attracts that which your mind dwells upon. Let us dwell upon health, happiness, wholeness, divine joy, divine abundance, divine peace, and bliss. Join the private No Narc network by clicking the link in the description, and I will see you at lesson 15. Peace.